Well, the family of Friends star Matthew Perry have spoken of their heartbreak following the tragic loss of their beloved son. The 54-year-old actor was found dead yesterday in the jacuzzi of his home in Los Angeles. Joining us live now is Variety TV's editor, Michael Schneider. Michael, appreciate your time this morning. Has there been any developments when it comes to an investigation over the past 24 hours or so?
It's still ongoing. The only thing that we do know is that he was found unresponsive in his hot tub in his Pacific Palisades home, and that there are no signs of any foul play. But beyond that, the investigation is still in its early stages.
Right. I mean, is the general, consensus at this stage, and we're not experts, but is the general consensus that he's had cardiac arrest and he's just drowned, unfortunately, in the jacuzzi?
I mean, that's what we could all guess at, but obviously we don't know for sure what some of the real circumstances are behind his death.
Okay. We have heard from his family. There are other actors who have given tributes over the past few hours as well, Michael. Has there been any word on the rest of the Friends cast on what they're doing?
No, the Friends cast right now has been quiet, which is probably understandable. As you know, and it was well publicized over the years, this was a really close-knit group of friends in real life, just as they were on the show. And I can only imagine how devastated they all are right now. And they're probably waiting for the right time to make a statement. But it's truly devastating news, and I'm sure they're all taking it pretty hard.
Yeah. On to his legacy, Michael. How would you define it?
Well, Friends was one of the biggest comedies in television history, period. It was tremendous. You can't understate how big a show this once was. And Matthew Perry, he really was sort of the comedic heart of this show. There were a lot of wacky characters on Friends, but, Chandler Bing, the character that Matthew Perry played, was sort of the sarcastic heart, the comedic engine of this show that sort of commented on everyone and everything on this show. In some ways, he was all of our sort of entry points to these other characters, and he could deliver a line like no one else on that show. A real comedic gem, and he went on to do some great dramatic work as well, particularly on shows like The West Wing and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which unfortunately didn't last long. But he was a great actor, and really we only got to see a fraction of all the great work that he could have done.
Do you think he was boxed into that kind of role, Michael? I mean, a lot of the Friends cast haven't been able to kick on. I mean, Jennifer Aniston has, and Courtney Cox to an extent, but for the most part, was Matthew Perry boxed into that Chandler Bing character?
I think there was a little bit of that. I think also, his career really was impacted by his addiction and sobriety problems, which, he was the first to talk about and address, including in his autobiography, that really did impact his career and probably limited what he did end up doing in his career because of that.
How much of that personality, of his own personality, came through that Chandler Bing character?
I think you definitely saw there was a sharp mind to Matthew Perry, and he was quick and he was fast, and a lot of that you saw in Chandler Bing. What a lot of times what comedy writers do is they see how actors are, they see their personality quirks, and then they write them into the show. So you can only imagine what the creators of Friends saw in Matthew Perry that they ended up adding to the character of Chandler Bing.
Presumably his book goes back to the top of the charts now, do you suspect, Michael?
It is it's a fantastic read, and an important read, by the way, too. I know one of the things that Matthew Perry has said over the years is, he wants to be remembered as much for helping people sort of understand sobriety and understand addiction as much as they remember him for being a star of Friends. And if he can make a difference for people who are struggling with addiction, then he'll have, really mattered.
Okay. Michael Schneider, the TV editor from Variety, thank you so much.